Michael Graham is here.
Very good afternoon.
We've been busy today.
We have been. I've been seeing you since about, what, 3 or 4 hours ago.
Clash of the Titans. Yeah. I don't know when Clash and Plank go out, do you?
Yeah, they do. They go out, Plank of the Week goes out at 7 o'clock.
Friday.
Friday, but it's also on the network, which you can watch on regular TV and on the radio.
Right.
On Saturday.
Yes.
In the evening, I think it's 7.
Yeah.
Clash of the Titans a little bit later, about 9 o'clock, I think, on Saturday.
Cool.
But you can also see it all the way through the weekend because it gets replayed a lot.
Yes.
And also, of course, any time you want on YouTube.
Fantastic.
And it was a great Plank of the Week. Pretty good Clash of the Titans, actually, as well.
Oh, listen, so much to talk about. So Donald and Joe met at the White House. You'd love to have been a fly on the wall.
You absolutely would, wouldn't you? Incredible. Because, you know, the last time around, Trump refused to have Biden in, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So, actually...
Didn't go to his inauguration.
Give a bit of kudos to old crooked Joe Biden, as Donald called him just the other day. He let him come into the house.
No, but he did, let's be honest, right? He didn't know it was him. He thought it was his brother. So he was having a nice cup of tea with him.
Yeah, absolutely right.
But no, listen, Joe Biden, I have a sneaking feeling, and I could be massively wrong here, that Joe Biden is sat in the White House thinking, yeah, well, I never lost to Donald Trump. You did, Kamala.
Yeah.
I beat him.
Yeah.
And you made me resign.
Yeah. I think there's some truth in that.
Yeah, and you know what, mate? I didn't lose to Donald, and you did, so you can all shove it. I genuinely sort of feel like he deserves that.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder whether he deliberately kiboshed her with that quote about, you know, the Donald Trump supporters being garbage, because he did it right in the middle of her speech, which was going to be the big set-piece Kamala Harris night, right? Got completely overtaken by the garbage thing. And so anybody who did think that Biden and Harris were nice people suddenly didn't think that. And he looked very happy when he was giving his concession speech, didn't he?
He looked very happy today with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I'm sort of... Maybe he sussed out, or somebody told him that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And actually, what happened to him... couldn't have been better. Can't wait for the Donald to get the job. Lots to talk about. But can I just... We got some voice notes, and he gets very excited.
I love a voice note.
Yeah. Liz Kendall is the Work and Pension Secretary.
Yes.
She said today we shouldn't call people economically inactive because it's dehumanising. I call them lazy buggers.
Yeah.
Damien, I don't know where you are. He's on Worklessness. Go.
Listen, I know how we can sort it and get people back to work. We can bore them to death. Take away the televisions. Shut down the BBC, that'll help, definitely. Take the PlayStations off everyone. If we bore people to death, they will want to go to work for some entertainment. Simple, sorted.
Brilliant, thank you, Damien. And Oz from Ilkley Moor Bartat.
Indeed.
It's Ilkley Moor Bartat in West Yorkshire. Oz, go.
Hi, Oz from Ilkley. 4 words. Stop giving Jezza caffeine.
Stop giving Jezza caffeine.
You don't need caffeine, do you?
See, now the thing is, people say to me, "You're very out there and you're very lively."
Yeah.
I was brought up that radio shouldn't be like this. It's 5:28. Let's talk. I'm passionate about what I do.
Yeah, me too. I'm like that at 6 o'clock in the morning.
My God, if you ever want to see somebody with... I can't believe how you are in the... Well, that didn't sound right, did it? I can't believe, darling, what you're like at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is an extraordinary story that I've just been past. We've talked about Donald Trump meeting Biden in the White House. This just in. The future of the Chagos Islands and a secretive UK-US airbase is set to be an early flashpoint between Donald Trump and Sir Keir Starmer as the president-elect seeks to veto the controversial deal signed off by the PM and endorsed by Joe Biden. It can be revealed Donald Trump is pushing to veto Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal. Donald Trump will be a hero in England if he does that.
And do you know why it's happened? Do you know how it's happened?
No.
It's because of Nigel Farage. And we've all said Nigel Farage will be the closest man now to Donald Trump in the British Parliament.
He will.
So the fact that he's not in government is not a good thing. He offered, when he was on my show, to Keir Starmer to be a bridge between the Trump White House and Downing Street. And of course Starmer didn't want it. Starmer won't do it. But this is now the revenge of Nigel Farage, basically, because Farage has got the Trump team to look into what might happen if the Chagos Islands is given away to Mauritius. And he's obviously decided this is quite important. I'm going to go with Nigel's advice, and I'm going to get Keir Starmer to reverse his decision. How about that?
I mean, that honestly...
That's international politics, baby.
That's international political diplomacy, baby. What did you make of your friend? We like Wes Streeting a little bit. We like him...
Well, do you know, I did like him before the election, but since the election, I don't think he's done very well, because he's
today wasn't bad, though.
He's not done all the things. I don't mind him saying that he's going to fire people.
I'm going to sack NHS chiefs who don't cut waiting time.
Well, I'll tell you what,
that's not bad rhetoric,
he's going to be very busy in that case, because there's an awful lot of managers in the NHS that shouldn't even have a job. So if he really wants to make sense and be believed by the public, he needs to start sacking people right now. In fact, I can probably give him a few nominations.
Yes, that would be true.
Yeah.
Also, my favourite story, we just did it on Plank, and I just want to do it here, The Guardian.
Yes.
The nemesis of many on the right, this left-wing rag that is about as popular as Piles right now.
Yeah.
It's not got many people...
Well, you know,
he's looking at the dump button. Right. This is what Ryan does, right? He goes like that. Piles. Do you know what I was called at school? Kyle Pile Hemorrhoid. That was my nickname, just so you're aware.
Right. This is how people talk.
But The Guardian...
Yeah.
I mean, it's extraordinary. Last week, when Trump won, the chief executive or somebody, the editor, said that we're providing counselling sessions for our journalists if they're traumatised.
Yes.
And tell them about what's happening today.
Well, now they've decided to withdraw from X, the Twitter business run by Elon Musk, because it's become very toxic.
Very toxic.
And so we don't want to go on it anymore because it's full of right-wing conspiracy theorists and horrible bigots.
Really?
Yes. And so we're going to, but they're not going to shut down the entire Twitter account. What they're going to do is they're going to archive it. So they're just not going to put any more tweets out. I would imagine Elon Musk gives approximately zero.
I think he's devastated. I mean, how many people read The Guardian?
Well, do you know, if it wasn't for the BBC, they'd have no circulation at all. The BBC buys about 20,000 copies of The Guardian every day.
See, if you look, maybe it's just where we're at. If you look at the reality of what's happening, you look at Trump, you look at Farage, you look at the way the world is, and you think, well, Starmer, Sadiq Khan, a lot of the Labour people, and a lot of these crazy, crazy left-wing idiots... They're going to have to go, aren't they?
They are.
They are going to have to go.
Because they, unfortunately, are quite dangerous right now, because they have the power over us in this country to put our taxes up, to restrict our movement in some way, shape or form, you know, to make sure that, you know, there are certain things that they can put into law which will take quite a while to unpick, you know, and they're ideologues, you know, they want the world to change, you know, they call themselves the Change Party, but they don't want to change it for the better, they want to change it for the worse.
They almost want to change it for the sake of changing it, because they're awkward.
Right. They want to punish you for sending your kids to private school. They want to punish you for having private healthcare. They want to punish you for making money, punish you for working hard, and punish you. There's no reward system for you unless you're in the public sector, basically.
And it's interesting, isn't it, that you're right. Public sector, is fine. Anybody that's done anything with their lives, and yet it seems in 15 weeks we've learnt that most of these Labour politicians, given the opportunity to make money or take a freebie...
Take a freebie, goodness me.
You know, morality goes out the bleeding window. It's not for them, it's for everybody else.
Yeah, whenever I hear Keir Starmer lecturing us on whatever it is that he wants to lecture us on, I just think to myself, you let some other man buy your clothes for you. You let another man buy your spectacles for you.
And you do think a woman can have a penis.
You do think that, and also you let a man buy your wife some clothes as well. And then you went and spent a load of time with this man in a penthouse somewhere above Covent Garden. I don't know what he's doing.
It's all a bit dodgy. However, the most shocking news of today, before you do that story, there are concerned viewers and listeners. The day you took over the breakfast show from Hapless to Me was the happiest day for many people, and they love it. They've heard rumours that have emanated from a tweet from Alastair Campbell. I don't know, this tweet today, basically saying that if we carry on like Trump, if we end up like Trump, who's given his defence secretary job to some bloke who fought in a couple of wars and is a Fox News presenter, where are we going to end up, said Alastair Campbell, with Mike Graham as the bloody defence secretary? Well, I think that would be a good thing, because we'd have a bloody war. Well, I mean, we'd have an army, not a war.
Well, we might have a couple of wars, actually. We might bomb some people and just shut them up, you know. But yeah, I mean, funnily enough, the great British public, of course, have responded to Alastair Campbell by saying actually he'd do a better job than the current incumbent in the Department of Defence.
John Healey.
And also, who's ever heard of him?
No.
John Healey.
Was Dennis his dad?
I think so, yeah. And Austin.
Are you joking?
He's got a brother called Austin.
He played rugby.
He might have. I don't know.
His brother either played rugby or was a car.
Well, it was a car.
You see, there's a rugby player called Austin.
But, I think I had a Twitter spat with him once, but anyway, that's another story. So he also suggested Isabel Oakeshott might become the Chancellor.
I'm not happy about that.
And so I said to her, you'd probably do a better job than Rachel Reeves, wouldn't you?
I think he's just said her because she's a woman.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But, of course, the problem with Alastair Campbell, he's not good on detail. He managed to at the wrong account. Instead of my actual account, which is at IROMG, he did it at Mike Graham, who's some guy with, like, 50 followers. And
so some poor bloke with 50 followers being lambasted today.
Yeah, absolutely flames.
Also, Alastair Campbell not good on detail.
Not really.
There weren't any weapons of mass destruction.
There weren't any,
there?
no.
I mean, that would have been something worth checking.
Yes, it would have been. Also, the 45-minute thing, you know, it wasn't actually 45 minutes, was it?
No, it was about 4 days.
Yeah.
You've got something, haven't you?
Well, yes, I've got the council tax hike, apparently, which is coming in. Did you know this?
No.
This is a tax that they hadn't thought of putting on, so they're now going to put it on in April. Millions of English households clobbered by a new council tax hike, which means levies could go up by another 5%, which is on top of all of the other stuff that's going on. And if you live in some parts of England, like London, for example, the London council tax can be put up not only by the national people, but also by Sadiq Khan. Who can,
well, let's steal some more money, Sadiq,
because I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that he put it up by 10% last year, and then the government put it up by 5%, so effectively a 15% rise in council tax.
I've never really understood council tax, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but I lived in Windsor, on the Long Walk, in quite a nice house.
I bet.
And I moved to the coast to a rented house while I buy a house or get a house built. Right? It's more expensive in a house a third of the size on the coast.
Is it?
Than it is on the Long Walk. And I'm not even... I don't understand. I'm not going to complain.
Well, it
but
might
I have
depend
no
on
idea.
who runs the council, because generally
Windsor and Maidenhead are skint. They're bankrupt.
Well, yeah, but if it's a Tory council, they tend to keep their council tax prices lower than if they're a Labour council.
Well, I'm moving if it's a Labour council.
Do you know what 80% of your council tax goes on in terms of the spend by the local council?
Immigration services?
It goes on the salaries of the council staff and their pensions. 80%. 80%.
When we say...
What is wrong with these people?
I don't understand,
This is the public sector who just rinse us every single week of every single year, and they take all that money and they give it to themselves.
I don't... See, it's become a way of life. So Victoria says to me at home, all you do, all day, you and Mikey's rant, but she said, you're right. She's a complete convert. And she said to me the other day, this was all going on and none of us had any idea.
Well, you would have done if you'd listened to my show, because I talk about... I mean, I've been going on about council tax since I did a show in Scotland.
I've been very busy. I'm very sorry.
I know.
Went through quite a busy time.
Unless you were in Edinburgh, you wouldn't have heard it. But, you know, we did have many listeners.
I mean, I was living in Barbados and flying in to do a television show and flying back. It's very difficult to watch.
What a life.
It was good for a year and a half.
You know, it's not bad, is it?
No.
Yeah, no, I was taking taxis in from Linlithgow. We were talking about Linlithgow because of that famous pub, which I'm not going to mention on the air.
You've got to.
No, I can't.
Why?
No, because I won't do it. It's all right on Plank of the Week. And we save people for Plank of the Week. And then, you know, they
can we keep talking? Because he's doing it. He's doing my doing. He's just going, can we go to a break? No. Nod off. Carry on.
So the thing is, council tax has always been a complete and utter con because they don't spend it on services.
No.
They spend it on salaries and pensions, because they've got, don't forget, they've got great pensions in the public sector.
Yeah, they have.
Because the original idea of the public sector was that you didn't get paid very much, but you had great perks.
You got a nice pension,
You got a nice pension. You could retire at the age of about 43, you know. But, of course, they've got all of that, but now they've got a decent salary as well. I remember doing stories about the leader, the chief exec, if you like, of Edinburgh City Council, £500,000 a year, right?
It's just unbelievable.
It's incredible. To do what, exactly? And when you ask them, why has he paid that
Prime
much?
Minister's on 168.
Yeah, they'd say, it has to be commensurate with similar private sector employers. And you go, yeah, but it's not, is it? You're running a load of buses and some
which never turn up anyway.
Maintenance vans, and you know, that's it.
I love our description of being the leader of Edinburgh Council. Run a few buses and some maintenance vans.